right?
Yeah.
Disadvantage on saving throws, for example, becomes advantageous for the lucky player because it gives them even higher odds of passing those saves, which is,
That's nuts. Yeah.
profoundly stupid.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat Lucky.
I was going to do the Lucky Charms mascot, and I thought better of it. But
His
here we
name
are.
is Lucky.
His name is Lucky. I definitely can't do that accent well enough, though, to go for it. Nor am I a leprechaun. Anyway, this is a feat that is super duper busted. It's probably the most banned affiliate feature in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Just because, like, it inherently breaks an overdone system in some really unfair ways. So, it's from the PHP. Like I said, it's a feat. It says this text: you have inexplicable luck that seems to kick in just the right moment. You have 3 luck points. Whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. You can choose to spend one of your luck points after you roll the die, but before the outcome is determined. You choose which of the d20s is used for the attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Those are very important words. You can also spend 1 luck point when an attack roll is made against you. Roll a d20, and then choose whether the attack uses the attacker's roll or yours. If more than one creature spends a luck point to influence the outcome of a roll, the points cancel each other out. No additional dice are rolled. You regain your expended luck points when you finish a long rest. This feature's busted.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Super, super gross. 3 is too many. 3 is way too many. And on top of that, they have the dumbest possible ruling with how this thing works with advantage and disadvantage, which is primarily why it is super, super, super busted.
All right, well, what's dumb about it?
Okay, so Bob, if you roll with a disadvantage on a saving throw,
Yes.
and you roll a 4 to 13, and then
Mhm.
you go, okay, I'm gonna use my lucky die, I'm gonna roll an extra dice, and you roll a 10. You can you pick which of those 3 dice to use, agnostic of the disadvantage. So you don't pick like the lower of either result. It's not the 4 or the yours rolled 10. You can pick
Yes.
the 13 and use whatever the die is. It turns advantage or disadvantage into super advantage. Into roll 3, take the highest, which is profoundly stupid. It is a ridiculous ruling that I cannot believe they officially doubled down on. Like, that has to be the dumbest interpretation of how this works that I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, that is the case. That is how it works. Which makes this feat like, can I find a way to get disadvantage on this critical saving throw so I can have super advantage on it instead of a regular advantage with lucky? Like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, that does make it pretty powerful.
Yeah, they're lucky happening 3 times. In a world where you're playing 6 to 8 encounters, it's not that many times. In a world where you're playing 1 to 2 per long rest, it's too many. It's all of the meaningful dice rolls that you're going to make for that adventure you have the super advantage on. And the best part is, you don't even have to decide to use this before the roll is made. You can just see what you roll and then decide, do I want to use lucky on it to potentially change the outcome? Which is, completely and utterly nuts. Like, it's like the shield problem, right? Where you only use shield when you know you need it. It's exactly the same, but better in a lot of instances because it applies to everything you could ever want.
I don't think that's a shield problem. I think that's why shield is good, and I think that's fine.
It's a shield perk, I should say.
Yes.
And
Okay.
this shares that kind of situation where
Yeah.
you will never feel like it is being wasted. You're never having to commit anything to. There's a very minimized risk to using this kind of ability, which is inherently good game design. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's way more fun to make sure your abilities do something. I don't want to use my abilities and have them not affect an outcome, right? That's what the current issue with Bardic Inspiration is, and that's why they're revising it. So it's used as a reaction in a similar fashion to things like Shield. Whenever someone fails something, you can add Bardic Inspiration to it. It feels a lot better that way, right?
Yeah.
The problem is Lucky's are too good for what it does compared to everything else happening in the game. There's really not a character that exists that wouldn't want this on their character sheet, ever. It's just a strict upgrade on anything that ever matters that you perform. It's ridiculous.
It is, and yet I don't really. I mean, if you give it to me for free, yes, but I don't know. I like my feats to do specific things for me. This one, I don't know. I can't articulate why exactly I wouldn't take it. Probably, but
I think on every character you will ever build, you will want to find room for lucky. And while I may agree that it might not be the first build you're taking in specific builds like Sharpshooter, Crossbow Expert stuff, or in like
yeah,
Sentinel, Polearm Master stuff, I think I'd take this over Sentinel, before I'm taking Sentinel on my Polearm Masters. I really think I do. I think I might take Polearm Master first for that third attack, but a lot of the time I really want Lucky because it turns most of my misses to hits. It turns a lot of the critical saves against me into misses. It turns all of these valuable things that I care about it makes me largely favored in all of them. And like the difference between a disadvantage and a super advantage is an outrageous statistical difference. Like it changes the odds of success by an outrageous amount. And you have that whenever you need it. You have it 3 times per long rest, which is too many times. And while it may not seem like overtly that powerful, the moment you start playing with it, similar to Silvery Barbs, that's the moment you're going to be like, you're just not failing attack rolls anymore. You're just not missing saving throws anymore. Like if something big comes to hit you with an 8d10 greatsword, you can be like, I'd rather you didn't, and then you can make them have the disadvantage on that with Lucky, and then you can stack shield on top of that, and then you can stack Silvery Barbs on top of that, and then you can have other dice manipulation effects on top of that. Portent can come into play here, right? You start to get these general play patterns that at power gaming tables just go, there are not bad dice results anymore because we have enough ways to mitigate and change their outcomes that the game plays itself for us in a lot of ways. We're just going to always be highly favored in every single contest of 20-sided dice rolls that exist. And that's insanely powerful. Playing with Lucky, really, you do feel how much it warps the table.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the reason I don't really want it. Because, yeah, I'll take Sentinel over this.
Sure.
I want my feats to do something specific. I want them to give me a special power, and luck is just too nebulous for me.
What if it's really, really powerful luck?
Yeah, that's
the specific power this gives you is Domino's ability from X-Men, right? It's just like, oh yeah, I just find myself not dying somehow to what is otherwise guaranteed a certain death. That's a pretty useful ability.
No doubt. I'm not arguing with you. It's absolutely powerful. Yeah, it's just too
generic.
Yeah.
I kind of see your point. I will say,
and
like,
I like there to be some real risk.
Oh, I do too. I think the game is a lot more boring with Lucky in it. I think games that are playing with Lucky, there doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of risk involved in a lot of plans, right? It also runs the issue where, like, challenging Lucky requires upping the difficulty of a lot of things. It also involves often changing what kind of effects you're imposing on players as opposed to disadvantage, because this turns that into an advantage, right?
Yeah.
Disadvantage on saving throws, for example, becomes advantageous for the Lucky player because it gives them even higher odds of passing those saves, which is,
nuts. Yeah,
profoundly stupid. So like it does warp how your DM has to consider gaming around it. I will agree that this should be banned at many tables, if not just because it's really boring, but because it is really frustrating. I definitely think characters that have Lucky and characters that don't, whenever like you fail multiple checks in a row with someone without Lucky, and then you watch the Lucky player just go reroll, and they're just having the greatest time of their life, they still might fail one of those. But the other two that turn from misses to hits, you're like, we're not playing the same game. I have to abide by the rules, and they don't. All I got was Great Weapon Master with +10 to hit, but like I still miss sometimes. They sure stopped missing a while ago, and that's the kind of imbalance that leads to a lot of frustrations. It makes some characters live and attempt very dumb things with a nice huge cushion of, I can always re-roll bad outcomes as needed. I will probably get out of this because I have all 3 of my luck points still, right? Like it does warp a game to the point where I recommend
kind of like that aspect of it.
Table. Of just super risks where you're like, yeah, let's just kill myself real quick because I'm probably gonna be fine. Well, then
that's fun.
It can be. You like reasons to just, you want any reason whatsoever to be able to say, it's fine. I'm gonna take these risks. These risks perfectly fine, and I have a little feature that gives me the go ahead to give it a go.
Yeah.
This is a nuts 5 out of 5 feet. Don't let it at the table. This is one of the few that I do advocate for banning. I don't think it's healthy for the game.
I'll agree with your 5 out of 5. Probably still not going to take it. Like, yeah. And I'm not going to advocate for banning anything, but I'm not going to advocate against it either.
All right. Maybe I think you're probably right. I probably shouldn't advocate for banning it. I would say talk to your DM if you want to take it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do that instead.
All right. Well, that was Lucky. Let us know your opinions down in the comments below. And like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us. And thank you, Sam. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.